Okay, I should be live. So I'm vjsmyth, and this is enemy zero minus percent. Minus percent is a category I've come up with because normally this game is an interactive movie with FMV sequences and first person segments, and the FMV sequences are unskippable. But this edition, it turns out you can mess with the game files a little bit, and I've mostly skipped the cutscenes out of it. So as you can see here, it's possible to modify the game files a little bit. And yeah. So time will start on first input, and before we begin, just want to quick run over what the game is. So we're playing Laura Lewis. We're on board a space station. We got woken up from cryogenic sleep because monsters are attacking the ship, and our Captain Ronnie has told us to go find our crewmates and see what's happening. This is a pretty difficult run, and out of the 4 discs, we're already skipping the first disc. So let's see how we get on. Okay, so time starts now. So there's a lot of cutscene skips here where Laura just spends ages picking up items from her quarters. We're going to skip through most of those, and before we go much further, you might be wondering, why is this such a tiny window?
Attention.
I just want to show off, this is what the game normally looks like. There's a little compass in the bottom right corner. We're going to just fix that now, and I said we're going to fix this. There we go. Just to make it a bit easier for you guys watching. So first off, we need to unlock doors in the basement. And there's a lot of other characters telling us stuff on these terminals to tell us to do stuff. We skip pretty much all of them in the run. So at the moment, our Captain Ronnie is telling us, hey, can you go check on Parker in the basement? So we need to unlock the door to the basement. So step 1, go to this terminal, and we have to unlock all of the doors. And we're just mashing the cancel button here as fast as possible, because it's faster just to hit cancel. It puts us straight onto the cancel screen instead of having to scroll manually. And there's a lot of cutscenes like this where you can see Laura slowly walking across a room. I've gotten rid of as much as I can, but there's some I can't quite get rid of because the game crashes, frankly. So we've unlocked the doors in the basement, and now we need to get a key card. And you might be wondering, just for a first-person game, we're not actually seeing shooting sections yet. That'll come in a little bit. We have to get a gun first, and that's going to be a little while off. But first of all, we need to go into our locker room here and get stuck on the door, because Laura loves getting stuck on the doors when I'm trying to show off stuff. And we use our space keycard on our space locker, and we get our space keycard again. The game is kind of very flag heavy. You have to have done everything in the right order before the next sequence of events starts. So we're now have everything we need to get into the basement, and stuck on the door again. So that's our character Laura. It's one of the few times you'll actually get to see her in the run. And the game is made up into 2 sections. So there is the explore mode, which is the first person sections, and then the search modes, which is these F&B sequences. So that bit there where I just used the key card in the door and just went through a few screens there, that's about 5 minutes of going up and down elevators, and that's good. So first of all, we need to restore power. Normally you do this a lot later because you don't get told the solution to this puzzle, but luckily enough, it never changes. It's always the first and the last 2 power buttons. The game also loves eating inputs, so it's going to be fun sometimes. So now we're going to go to Parker's room, and this is what the first encounters for the enemies. And if you know anything about this game, you'll be aware of one thing: the enemies are invisible. That's why this game is considered a really, really hard one, because you can't see them. You have to rely on the radar noises. So you hear them roaring in the background, but luckily enough, the first disc is fairly consistent with the spawns, and the basement is always safe. If you just hug the left-hand wall the entire way down, you're safe. So now we're going to enter Parker's room, and hopefully he's... yeah, Parker might have spilled some red paint around the place. So we're just going to gingerly step all around, and we're just going to check his locker here. And inside this is a terminal code for calling our friend Kimberly. We don't actually have to call her, and in fact there's no real reason to come down here, but the game checks to see have we got Kimberly's number in our inventory. If we haven't, the next section of the game doesn't trigger. So you see what I mean about the game being kind of flag heavy, where you have to do everything in the right order. So this is safe enough to come back here as well. If you look at the map, there's a more direct route. If you take it, you'll die. It actually came very close there. If you take the same route back, this is consistent. You can try and just run out through the faster route on the way back out. You can get it maybe 2 out of 10 times, maybe, but it's very hard, and it's not worth it. And for Martin, I'm going to try it. So we've gone to the basement. We've seen Parker's dropped red paint everywhere, so he's not going to be helping us because he's busy cleaning it up. And now we come all the way back up, and we're going to go to Marcus's room. And it's either Marcus or Mercus, depending on which region and which version of the game you're looking at, because in English in North America and English in PAL, it's spelled M-A-R-C-U-S and M-A-E-R-C-U-S. So we're going to have fun with Marcus's room in a section. I'm sure he is healthy and well, and he's going to give us a hand. And for some reason, Marcus's door is off its hinges. It's fine. I'm sure he's okay. And whoops, Marcus didn't make it. But we're just going to grab his biometric keycard off of him. And we're going to go into his secure locker storage. And we just use his biometric keycard there. And we grab our gun. So this is the first difference between the difficulty levels. The gun is pre-charged here on easy. On normal and hard, you have to go charge it, which is the main reason I'm running in easy mode for this, because there's a few route changes which makes this a bit shorter. And now I get to kill our first invisible enemy. So the beeps, as you've been hearing them, correspond to how close the enemy is to you, and you have to kind of get a feel for it. So and that's the first enemy killed. That one is fairly consistent. And there's cutscene plays here where we go into the elevator, we get attacked, we drop our gun, we run out, and we're being chased, and we get told by Kimberly to just climb into the vents here, but we skip a lot of that because the further back you look at this is a bit faster than just walking straight up to the wall and looking up. And it's the only time you use the look up command in this.
Laura, right now you are in between the 4th and 5th level. I'm on the 5th level. You can get here through the emergency hatch. Watch out. The hatch is located on the other side of the tower.
So Kimberly's at the other side of the tower, as she said, and Kimberly actually does have a gun and stuff, but she's just going to sit there waiting for us to come to her. So this is George's room, and we need to grab his gun because we lost our gun in the previous cutscene. We completely skipped. So we're using his computer to print out a new key card. And because we're on easy mode, we have 3 shots. And that's exactly the amount of shots we need to get through this area. If I miss one, or if I was playing on a higher difficulty setting, we'd have to go over to the 2 room and recharge, but lucky enough, we should just be able to get out straight. So I need to take 3 shots. If I get really lucky, I don't need to take 1, but I'm going to have to take, I can hear it. So oh, actually I don't have to shoot him. That's really good RNG. So yeah, luckily enough, it had gone down to the far end. So there's 1 more enemy here on this disc, and this one is the safest one in the entire game to shoot because he never moves. And he's blocking this barrier, so that's why he never moves, because you have to shoot. So now we're through to Kimberly's room, and Kimberly is having a read of a magazine. And so we decide to just use our computer terminal and to just call everybody else, see what they're up to. But before we do that, because she's our co-worker, we decide to just look at her personal files. We have to do this, which is really annoying. You have to open a personal file and look at her photograph. And that's a photograph of all the crew, of her and her boyfriend Parker, who we haven't actually told her Parker didn't make it yet. And now we need to go call everybody else. So we're in Kimberly's room, so we're not going to call in Kimberly. We're not going to call in Laura's room because we're Laura, there's no one there. So we're going to start off with calling David, who is Laura's boyfriend. And David tells us basically stuff we're missing here to, hey, come over to our tower. George is not going to answer his phone because, as you can see, connection refused. He's been an ass. We're going to call in Mercus, as you see there, and as there's a network error, which might be something to do with the fact that the door is ripped off the hinges and covered in blood. Captain Ronnie, who's been telling us to go everywhere all along, unfortunately seems to have fallen down in his room, so we'll just chalk that up to an accident. And let's go call Parker, and this is the first time Kimberly sees that Parker is not okay. And now we're going to call David one last time, and he tells us to come over to his tower. We have to do all of those in that order, otherwise we can't trigger the next disc. So, right, so now for the first disc swap. So this is a 4-disc game. And we've just completed disc 2 of 4. And sorry, this swapping here can be a bit finicky because of Windows. Okay, so that's disc 1 down. So next up, we decided to go over Kimberly over to the next tower, and Kimberly ran on ahead with a gun because she declares vengeance for Parker, and we're following her along. I'm sure she's fine. This one is fairly consistent as well. You'll never get attacked on at the start of this. And this disc is more puzzle orientated out of the gameplay ones. Cutscene played there where we saw bloodstain from Kimberly, so she's probably not okay. And fun fact, the terminals show maps. You can find a map for this area, and it's just a straightforward walk. So this is the weirdest elevator controls to find. We need to use binary to enter codes. So we're going to go up to the top rooms, which is Ronnie's. And straight off, we find out that Ronnie has a very secure door system where he has a code on it, but he then puts the code right on it. And this is kind of finicky because Laura's hand has to be exactly at the right spot, otherwise she won't pick the switch. So now that we're in Parker's room, we're just going to, Ronnie's room. Ronnie's on the ground, and as you can see, he's actually dead, but all is not lost. He had a pair of sunglasses on him, and they're nice sunglasses, so we're going to take them. Are they necessary in the run? No, But counterpoint, free sunglasses. So we look at this. What's wrong? Sorry, it's neutral. Oh, sorry, neutral and. Sorry, I got to go wrong there. So we look at the captain's computer and we find out that the company was involved in transporting enemies for military use, which might come across to some as the plot of Alien, and unfortunately is not the last time we're going to see the plot of the movie Aliens ripped off. So now we're going to go down to the normal crew quarters and we're going to check on David and George's rooms. And they're on floor 5, which is up, down, up. Sorry. There we go. And we're going to go into George's room first to see what he's up to. I'm sure he's fine. And turns out he is fine. He's just not answering his bloody phone when we call him. So he's sitting there, arms crossed, looking at his computer, and we have to talk to him quickly. And he tells us, hey, go across the way and talk to David. I'm busy making a keycard. That's fine. We need to go over and talk to David. And there's a big, long cutscene here of romance and love for reunited, and it's completely skipped in this edition. So we need to come in here and we need to look at a photograph of ourselves, and then we can continue. We have to do this. It's mandatory. Otherwise, the game doesn't consider us having everything done, because we have to have everything done before the next story event triggers. So now that we've looked at the photograph, we can go back over and talk to George. And George tells us David is in the basement. Go help him out. Even though in the cutscene David told us he's going to the basement, he won't actually be there until we've done everything else so far. So, right. We talk to George one last time, and then George has us go down to the basement. We can charge the gun down the wall, but we don't need to because we actually got a free recharge in between. The disc swap. So now we need to go down to the basement. And basement is all down. A lot of this disc can be kind of unfair because you don't know where you're going and the game doesn't really tell you stuff. Okay, we were millimeters from death there, but let's not dwell on that. That's fine. It's fine. Run's going fine. Walk into the wall. Run's going fine. It's grand. It's fine. No, it's 10 out of 10. It's fine. So this door wouldn't be broken open unless we did everything else done. And we know David's in here, so hopefully David is living a long, healthy life here, playing with the generators. And there looks to be some red paint in the ground. It seems to be a common theme in this. And unfortunately, David did not make it. And David is actually a robot, which we find out here for the first time. So we grab his hard drive and we decide we need some answers. So we're going to go back up to George's room to use his computer. Why aren't we using the computer in Ronnie's room? I don't think it has a disk drive. And that's why we need to go to George's room, because he has a disk drive for it. Now, coming back out of here is a little bit on the finicky side, but we'll see how we go. Because this is one the lighting here makes the navigation a little bit annoying coming back out. So we come here, we go straight through here, and then we go left, and we're back at the elevator. That's fine. Okay, so back up to room 5. And that is up, down, up. And we're going into George's room. So we're going to use George's computer with the disk, and we're going to find out that George is the one who programmed David, and that David had some functions like monitoring the crew and being the ship's co-pilot. And George is going to come in here and freak out a little bit at us using his computer. We're also going to get attacked by an enemy who's going to put something in her neck, and then George is going to run out here and drop a key. This is really annoying, and if you miss the cutscene, George drops a key right here. You can only pick up the key walking out of the room, and if you miss George dropping the key on the cutscene, if you look away from your screen for a second to grab a drink of water or something, the game will never tell you that. And it is one of the meanest tricks the game has to pull. So now that we have the key for the medical scanner in Ronnie's room, we're going to go up and take a look at it to see what was in her neck. I mean, you got attacked by an alien being, you might as well just make sure you're safe. So we're just going to go all the way over to the medical scanner in the far corner of the room. I might be thinking, this doesn't look so difficult so far. Wait. This is the game ramps up difficulty when we hit the final disc, but we'll come to that when we come to that. So we see our cool shades, and then we use the scanner. We find out that there's an alien growing in our neck, and also that we're an android too. So George has been busy programming androids on board the ship, and he really shouldn't have, and he's not too happy about us finding out. So now you'll kind of be wandering around for ages what you're supposed to do, and we're supposed to go back to David's room. The game does not tell you this. Just this is where the next story event happens. And George unfortunately pulled a gun on us, and enemy killed George, and we killed the enemy. And luckily enough, George had the keycard for the next floor in his pocket. So we're just going to grab it, and before we get down there, though, we have to turn on the power for the next section, because of course we do. It's a common puzzle in this, is just turning on the power. Okay, so we are going to floor 6, which is up, up, down. Wish I could say I had these memorized, but I don't. I have notes open here next to me because I'm an idiot. So this one I could get away with not shooting an enemy, but for the most part I pretty much guaranteed to. Okay, I just need to concentrate for a second. We're safe, yeah. Usually, it doesn't matter if it's beeping now. There's an entire back half of this map, and usually the enemy spawns there and he kind of stays there, but sometimes he can come down further. So we need to turn on the power. And this is dials instead of switches, so we're coming up in the world. And so again, this difficult puzzle is the same on every single difficulty. So we are going to type in. Okay, I already screwed up. So 1, 8, 0. And because you can't use a numeric keypad to type stuff in, you have to use Laura's fingers, where she kind of, it's not quite where you think it is. Next one is 0, we just hit enter, and the last one then is 1, 3, 5. So now there's a big cutscene of all the generators turning on. We are skipping all of that, and we're coming back out. So I'm pretty much guaranteed to have to fight the enemy on the way out. I might get really lucky and he's still over the far right, but I might doubt it. Let's come back out to this T-junction. Yeah, it's coming in front of us here. That's fine. That one is consistent. You can get lucky if you're grinding this out for a record. You could get really lucky and just not have to fight in either direction, which is great. Because as you can see, having to charge your gun for firing is a little bit slow because Laura slows down walking when she's doing it, and then there's the firing part, which stops her dead for a second, so it's faster to not do that. And now we just need to get out of here to disc 3, and this is where the gauntlet happens. And the gauntlet is 9 floors of mazes where we just have to survive. And we have one rest point in the middle of it, and it's not even the middle point, it's at floor 4, and then we have to get all the way through to floor 9 without dying. And this has not gone well for me in practice, I'm not going to lie. So let's hope things go a bit better this time around. And this is the disc swap, the final one of the day. Okay, so we're doing good. Oh, it didn't need 3 discs. This is a 4-disc game. We're just skipping the first one because it's a tutorial. So we're going to be introduced to a new enemy type in a minute, and they're small, little invisible aliens. Or sorry, small visible aliens. So, but first off, we need to get through this section without dying, and please let me get through it without dying. Please. Oh, good. We're fine. It's usually about 8 out of 10 times you get through that without being attacked, but sometimes an enemy will spawn near the top of it and just meet you at the very top. It's really annoying. So this one is consistent. We'll just be hearing blaring all the time. It's fine. We don't need to worry about it. You might see the door open. We don't worry about it. It's fine. Just keep running. Just keep running. It's fine. It's fine. We're doing good. We're doing good. Okay. So now we grab a new gun. And it's infinite charges. And now the gauntlet begins properly. So you're going to hear little squishing noises. They're kind of deceptive because they don't really know where they're coming from. And so small guys. They die in 1 hit. You don't need a charge shot to kill them. The big invisible ones, you do need a fully charged shot. Okay, oh, sorry, I've been asked to turn up the game audio just a little bit. 1 second. There we go. Hopefully that's good. So, kill him. This is the safest room out of all of them. We just keep going straight. And you'll never get attacked in that one apart from the small guy on the ground. That's one of the safest rooms. And now comes the jank. So usually there's a guy hiding there, which is very sneaky. There's usually 2 for 1 there. I might have to kill one more when I turn the corner here, but that again was sneaky because sometimes he can be further down and you just walk straight into him. So far so good. And this is the room I've died every single bloody time in practice. So this one is difficult because it comes behind you as well, so I'm just going to concentrate. So and I need to run because if I get there fast enough, I can head off the next guy coming. Okay. Finally, I have died in this room so many times in practice. We're safe here. There's nothing else ever spawns in here in the end of the tunnel. So you'd think we might be safe now, but we're not. We're now on to F8. And this one is more an open plan warehouse. And we're kind of hoping for this one that we just get chased the entire time. I almost died there. We're kind of hoping we get chased the entire time. I'm kind of getting worried now about that beeping because it shouldn't be here. Okay. So we just need to. We're almost there. Come on. Sorry, I'm concentrating like crazy. Ah! No! That's rough. I'm going to load a safety save I have, but yeah, I was hoping to get away with that, but it didn't work. So let us. Now, unfortunately, the save is all the way back at the start of where I got the new gun, and this is. I need F7 clear. Sorry, just making sure the right save file, and it is 2. We're going to try and this save file, I've all of the large invisible aliens are dead between here and the start of the warehouse. So I just need to worry about dodging the small guys, because unfortunately the small guys constantly respawn whenever you go between the areas. So it should be faster and safer, and if I die again on F8, we'll just do the save where everything is dead. That's more like it. Was kind of hoping to get away with no deaths, but this is incredibly difficult. The game does charge you every time you load and save. We're playing on easy, which is the least offensive of them, but hard mode you have 16 energy for saving. Saving costs 3. Loading costs 2. So you can only save a couple of times, and this is a long game. The normal version of this, all the cutscenes, is about it's about 2 hours, and this version should be about 35-40 minutes. I could have died there. I was thinking a little bit slow. There is no real safety strats for this section, because if you take your time, an enemy is going to get between you and where you need to go. So we're safe here. Everything is dead apart from when we get to the warehouse, and we're just going to dash through the warehouse. Hope for the best. If I die in the warehouse again, I'll just load a save where everything in the warehouse is dead, but hopefully I won't need to do that. But there is a generous estimate for this because of how temperamental this run can be in the last quarter. Because we were one room away from getting to the next floor. Okay, so let's try this again. Apologies for the chat. I have to concentrate on this too much to be able to read it other than occasionally glance at it. But yeah, this is a hard game. So we're going straight across. Mace hadn't killed any of the small guys. Don't you dare. They almost never come into defense. I won't say that's never happened because it does, but it's so rare. Yeah, we're safe. This one we just hug the right-hand wall. And we're good. Okay, so now we're going up against the boss fight, and just fair warning, the boss fight is loud when it dies. So I'm wondering what the boss of these aliens are. Is it some kind of giant queen? Nope, it's a giant heart. And it's dead. So you think, wow, now there's a save point, right? No. One more floor. So we now need to... We had a cutscene there, by the way, after that where we met Kimberly, and Kimberly managed to get the alien out of her neck. Yes, Kimberly's still alive, by the way, but she's ran off all the way down here by herself because she wants to go to Parker's room to get some keepsakes before we get out of here. And we tried telling her that's kind of a dumb idea, but she ran off without listening to us. Okay, we almost died there, that's fine. I lost track of the things, please tell me not lost. Hopefully we go right here and then left and we're good, please. Yes, we're good. And now you can save. So this is the first time you can save since the start of F4. It is rough. You can go back up and save after you kill some enemies, but again, you've limited saves and limited loads. So you don't want to be doing it, and especially on hard mode, you're not going to be able to do that easily. So we're actually back in the basement of the first floor. So we're going into Parker's room, and it's the exact same cutscenes where we just skip, and this time though we have a gun for going through it. There are more enemies lying around though, so we need to be a little bit better in our movement. And I'm going to take a more direct route now because we have a gun, but it's dangerous as well. Okay, not gonna lie, that second one was a lucky shot. I wasn't expecting it, but this is the end of the gauntlets. Now we're back in Parker's room, and we're just scrolling through a big long chat log between Kimberly and Parker that Kimberly is showing us, and we're just listening to some stuff there. There's some loads of text here you can read, and Kimberly unfortunately decided to set off the self-destruct. So we now need to get the hell back to the escape vessel. Yeah, so bad news. Have you ever been on a long journey and forgot to charge your earbuds and they die near the end of it and you're just... Yeah. So Laura didn't fully charge her radar earbuds, which are telling us where the enemies are, so we're going to have to do the last section without radar. But when we put David's computer disk into the George's machine, it got uploaded, and there's sensors that David's able to access that tells us where the enemies are. Why George wasn't using this, I don't know. Sorry, this cutscene skipped there where we saw the enemies die.
Please evacuate.
So David tells you where to go.
This ship will self-destruct in 3 minutes.
It's okay. Go right. Forward.
We ignore him because he tells us to turn around straight away. We ignore him here again.
Go right.
Because he tells us to turn around again. And we're almost there. We're just about on the home stretch.
It's okay. Take it easy.
So...
To the left.
This could have been worse, but yeah.
Turn that corner, you're almost there. We're gonna make it back. We can make it back. You and I are going back to our hometown.
That's right, David.
It's this way.
We're going to make it. We'll live. We're going to make it.
there.
Yes, and that is time. Okay, so one death, not too bad. I was hoping to get away with it deathless. So this is a pretty long, lengthy cutscene of Laura getting into a spaceship and then doing the generic blasting out. So yeah, thanks for Big Bad Game-a-thon for having me, and if you want to know more of this run,